I have like a lot of trouble just taking a paper and like reading it without like having some like connection, like some emotional
Yes.
connection or something. Or and so my strategy always was, if I'm reading a topic, uh, a paper, something that I am not an expert in or whatever, I would just call one of my friends who's an expert
Yes.
in that field and be
Yes.
like, "Hey, explain that like paper to me," and then they would explain it, and then you have like kind of the big picture, what's important, what you
Exactly.
can ignore, and then you read the paper and
And
whatever.
it's trivial.
and
Yeah.
and and for the longest time I felt like I was cheating doing that because like my colleagues wouldn't do that. And then later I figured out, no, I wasn't cheating. There's just, I think it was when I left academia, went into the real
Yeah.
world and realized that that's what everyone does. They just like call their expert friend on like
Exactly.
any
Yeah.
topic.
Exactly. It's a
And so
superpower. Yeah.
so so it was a good strategy, but I feel like a lot of these like uh energy and time saving hacks or whatever are like looked down upon in academia because you should be
Certainly.
doing the hard work yourself.
Yeah.
Um,
I love. This is also something I'm happy to pontificate about. If it, I can't read anything. I get distracted after
mhm,
20 seconds. I find it very difficult to read papers because they're so badly written as well. Um, and of course, the minute I discovered that you could watch videos of the talk by the author,
like
I
now, not 10 years ago
not
or
10
20
years
years
ago.
ago.
No, I mean, I think I've only read two papers in my life. The rest of the time I was just, I don't know. I don't even know how I got to where I got to be. I don't know how I made it. Um, but luckily I discovered that you could ask people and you could talk
Mm-hmm.
to people about a paper, and it was so much quicker to get the information that way because it's a two-way interactive proof
Hmm.
when you
Hmm.
talk to an expert. And uh, where was I going with this? Um, yeah, I discovered videos, and I was so amazed that I could play them at 1.5 speed, and then I could get the content of a paper while washing the dishes, like in 20 minutes.
Right, right.
And then when you read the paper, like you don't read it, you just say, ah, now I know, no, no, I skip this, skip this. Okay, that's the important
Mhm.
equation. I'll spend all my time trying to prove that.
Right, exactly.
And ChatGPT is good at this too, by the way. Like it's
Mm.
really super good at explaining papers. Um, tell it to download the paper, tell it to explain the proof to you, and it will give you a bullet point kind of summary until you build your social network up enough that you have expert
Mm.
friends.
No,
Like not
that's
everyone
that's
you know,
very valuable advice.
just build your
Mm.
network up, find expert friends, and until you do, you have ChatGPT now. Isn't that great?
It's
And
like amazing. I
yeah,
I just feel like I would have, if I mean, I
even
know you could still do that with textbooks, but if
yeah,
I had like YouTube when I was a student and like when you
yeah,
didn't understand something, your lecturer says, and you can go watch 5 different YouTube videos that tell it
yes,
from a different angle, and then you're like,
yes.
I get it. Like, oh my God.
Maybe that's why people are smarter these days than when we were young.
Yeah.
Um, uh, yeah. So teaching, that's a good pivot point.
Right. So, oh yeah, yeah. So the reason I brought up teaching was because we were talking about hacks and talking about academia not liking them. And when I
Mm,
was teaching, I don't know whether this was just like self-imposed or it was really like the environment making me feel that way. But I felt like if you didn't write the lecture from scratch, like you weren't doing your job, even if
yeah,
you could like find something on some resource on the internet that you could use that would give a better experience for the student, like you would still choose to give the student the worst experience because you didn't want to feel like you were
yeah.
cheating.
You feel
I don't know if you'd ever
dishonest, isn't
felt
it?
that one.
Yeah, I
Yeah, yeah,
felt that
yeah,
100%. The
yeah.
first couple of lectures I did when I was in the UK, I insisted on doing it all from scratch,
Hmm.
and it felt so dishonest to use a textbook or something, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Even
Hmm.
though, as you say, it would give a much more streamlined experience. And then at some point, I just realized, but they've done it already. They've solved the problem, so I'll just use a
Hmm.
textbook.
Hmm.
And quantum field theory is, for whatever reason, popular video is based on Peskin and Schroeder, which everyone likes to crap on. But it's a good book. It, People will immediately be disagreeing and saying it's a terrible book. It's a terrible book. It's fine. It's fine. And they've solved the problem of teaching it. And
Hmm.
just when it's difficult, use other sources. But otherwise, lean heavily on any trick or tool you can.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
it's not cheating if it gets you ahead quicker, is it?
Well, I
Well,
don't know. Some
that's
people
why
might
people
think it is.
that's why people think it's cheating. It's unethical or something. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, one thing you have to be careful about though is because I think you can do a lot of things with Chat GPT as well that get
Yeah,
you ahead quicker, but then you lose. it's like the same thing like when you use your GPS for like 20 years, like
Yeah.
whatever you use map, you don't know
Mm.
how to like get around
You
yourself.
can't
I feel
navigate
like it's
anymore.
this,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Yeah.
feel like it could be the same thing. Like if you're
Yeah.
using,
Actually,
if you even if you figure out how to make ChatGPT writing really good, which I think you can,
I think you can.
it
Yeah.
it losing your
Y-
ability to write is not a good thing.
Yeah. Okay. You touched a heavy and important point. I have no answer to this because I think it's valid. Um, Maybe those hours we put into giving crappy experiences to our students were valuable now, 20 years later, when
For
we
you,
could,
for the teacher.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly, so that you
yeah.
can then you navigate this new world with expert knowledge.
Mm, I don't know.
I don't know, but those poor students, they suffered. Um, it's they did not have a good experience.
Yeah.